Hi there, this is Jen, and thanks for joining me today. Today is the monthly card Hoppin event, and it's an event where we get together and we have a different theme and technique. So for the month of April, the technique is either Bokeh or Galaxy, and the theme is anything but stamps, so we can use anything but stamps on our creations. I will leave a link to the next person on the hop listed below, as well as the entire hop order, and I will also leave links to the Facebook group that we're a part of in case you are interested in joining us on these events every month. So I am doing the Bokeh technique. I think that's how you say it. I don't know much about it other than it has to do with something in photography where you see those like translucent circles, and so there's different ways that you can do this technique in card making. I'm just doing a really easy one. So basically what I'm doing is I'm taking some dye inks, and these are the Lavinia Elements dye inks, and the colors that I'm using are, this first one is Lime Punch, and I'm just taking my blending brush on my card panel and I'm just putting it on the card panel in a circular motion. If you want more control of the circles, or you want the circles to be more perfect, you can always use a finger dauber, because that will give you a little bit more control of where the color is going. But I thought this worked out just fine, and it's kind of funny how both the techniques start out a little bit the same. So if you were doing a galaxy background, it would start out similar to this right here. You would just color the galaxy background with a black or a darker color, and there's plenty of those videos in this hop this month, so I hope you check out all of the other participants for some really fun creations. So the second color that I used was mulberry, and then this color right here that I'm using is paprika. And once I'm done with this color, I am going to just go ahead and go over the entire panel with the same brush. There's really not that much ink left on it, and so I'm just trying to kind of blend the colors together so that there aren't any harsh edges, and then I'm going to go back in with that green color. And then once I have that done, I can't resist splattering the cardstock with water to get that water effect, so I went ahead and splattered that with my spray bottle. And then amazingly, I don't have any stencils that I could use for this that I thought really worked, so I'm basically creating my own stencil. So I've grabbed a few dies from my stash, and I will run that through my die cut machine and use that as my stencil. And there are several of us on the hop doing this technique, so you might see some different variations of how you can use this, and there are several different ways that you can actually do this technique. But to add the bokeh effect for my panel, I'm going to go ahead and take some white pigment ink and a finger dauber, and I'm really trying to load that dauber up with a lot of that white pigment ink. And I'm just going to place that stencil onto my card panel and just dab on the pigment ink. I don't want to rub that because it's going to mix with that dye ink and change the color of the white to whatever it is going over. So if you dab it, you're not going to pick up and drag that color all over the place. And then I'm just going to move the circle around, changing the sizes of the circles and kind of overlapping the circles to give that really pretty effect. And then once I'm done with that, I am going to go ahead and grab a paper pad. So we can't use stamps. So my choices were using ephemera or printing something out or using paper. And so I went ahead and I grabbed this old paper pad from Michael's. It's a mixed media paper pad, and I don't think it's available any longer. I haven't seen it. It is a few years old. And so I was kind of stuck between these two pictures, and I chose to use the floral picture. So I went ahead and fussy cut that whole portion of that flower piece out. I wasn't really sure which one I was going to like better against my card panel, so I just went ahead and cut an entire kind of bottom portion of that pattern paper out. To kind of get it to match up with the colors that I used on my panel, I went ahead and I went back and I grabbed the mulberry and the lime punch colors, and I took my blending brush, and for the flower I went over that with the mulberry color, and then I went over the leaves with the lime punch. It's not super noticeable, but I thought it would, I apologize, I thought it would kind of match the colors up a little bit better than what they were. And once I have the pattern paper colored how I want it, I am going to go ahead and trim off the side that does not fit on my card panel. So here I am laying this out to see how I want it on my panel, and then I'm just going to mark it with a pencil, and then I will take my paper trimmer and trim off the excess. And then once I have that done, originally I was going to put this flat on the card, and then I decided that it would look a little bit better popped up. So I added a bunch of foam tape to the back of this, and then I will adhere that to my panel. And then to add a little splatter to the rest of the card, there's already some splatter pattern on that pattern paper. And so I went ahead and I mixed up a little bit of white ink with some water and splattered that onto my panel. And then to finish the card off, I added a few different jewels. And that's going to finish off my card for today. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to check out all of the participants in the Hop. I believe this month it is fairly small, maybe about 10 people in all. And you'll find that information in the description below. If you like this video or found it informative, please go ahead and give a thumbs up. As always, I thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to spend with me, and I hope to see you next time.